You are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Y'all know I do like discussing the dynamics between men and women. So I do have a video of a woman being honest, and y'all know I love it when women tell the truth because a lot of women tell these PC lies, but if they were honest, you'll be surprised that a lot of them agree with what I'm saying. So I have a video of a woman saying why she prefers to date men that make less money than her. So let me go to the video. Let's watch the video and I'll give you my thoughts.
Like, I've always been the breadwinner in my relationships, and I realize now that I'm older and I looked at my dating patterns that I always pick the guy who don't have the most money because I like to control the situation.
I said that.
I like to be able to
times.
leave when I want to leave. I like to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I am attracted to alpha males, but alpha males, they're attracted to me initially physically, but once they figure out we're both like this, they're like, oh, no, we can't do this.
Would you consider yourself an alpha woman?
Absolutely.
So yeah, interesting video. Once again, I love it when women are open and honest about how they're feeling and their thoughts. Now, she brought up a few things. Number one, I just want to say this: just because someone makes more money than you doesn't mean they're always right. Because I know when we talk about money and these things, people tend to say, well, just because that person's making more money doesn't mean they're right in this situation. I agree with that. But if you notice from how she was talking and the examples that she used, she likes to be the leader of the relationship. And what I've always said, there can only be one person in a relationship that's leading, one submissive. In all relationships, there's always one dominant and one submissive. If they're both dominant, it's gonna bump heads. That's why you tend to see men that are successful, they'll date women who make less than them because they won't bump heads. Just like how she said, and I hate how people use this term because people are so short-sighted in their thinking. When they're thinking of alpha male, they're thinking like 6'8", 245. They're thinking along the lines of that. They should be saying a successful person, or AKA like a leader, a dominant personality. That's what they should be saying. But they use a shorter term as like alpha male. She said alpha males are initially attracted to her, but once they get to know her, they bump heads and they leave. Now, one commenter caught this and said a very interesting comment. She was honest at first. Alpha males are attracted to you initially. Once you realize you can't control the situation, you make being with you so hard that the alpha cuts his losses and dips. Yeah, or he will just sell you a lies or sell you a dream to have sexual access to you and then leave. That commenter is exactly right. And this is what I've said, that I don't understand why women don't see this. Just because a guy has sex with you, it doesn't mean he's going to claim you or even sees you as wife material. And this is one of the things I noticed that's growing in the dating market. And this is what I've said also in that Just Larry's video, when women are starting to make more money. Because number one, I appreciate women out there working hard, and I think women should be working hard for their money. Absolutely. I don't think there should be any type of restraints of women making money. But what women are running into, that when they're making money, the men that are making that same type of money do not want them because of their personality. Now, I know some women will be saying, well, men date down because they want to control the situation too. I agree, that is true. But I always ask this question to any woman who gives me that response. Who do you want at the end of the day? If you have one person to lead, who do you want to lead the relationship, you or the man? 9 times out of 10, that woman will say the man. Unless you're like the woman in the video, I could see her saying that she will want to lead the relationship. This is where I think people think short-sighted. You have to understand who you're dating and if you're going to take it serious. For example, let's use a woman in the clip. If let's say she gets with a guy that makes less than her, so she can control and lead the relationship, that's fine. But let's say she has a son and her son doesn't have leadership qualities. Well, then that's your fault. You married a man and had a child with a man who don't have that necessary leadership qualities. So your son is not going to have that. Because you remember in past videos I've said, women have come to me who are married, say, Adrian, how do I get my son into fitness and sports and tougher? I'm like, but what about your husband? Isn't he there? And then when I see the husband, you could tell that they dated so far down because they didn't have enough options that all that husband is an ATM and just treats them well. And I know some of y'all may be saying, well, Adrian, that's good. Those are the bare minimum. Regardless of who you with, they should treat you well regardless. So that shouldn't even be a discussion point. But you should think about the leadership qualities, his work ethic. Is he determined? You know, those key traits that build up a man. In other words, leadership. So men and women, LGBTQ, whatever, I don't care what your sexual orientation is or who you're dating. Don't be short-sighted in dating, because if you do, a lot of these problems are going to rear their head. Not during the honeymoon phase, especially when you first have kids, but like 10 or 15 years down the line, it will cause problems in your relationships. I've seen it happen to way too many people. And the reason I do videos like this is because men and women, you need to understand these things. Your mom and dad, I'll just keep it a buck with you. They may be too slow to not even understand this, or one of them in that relationship understands it and doesn't want to mess up the family dynamic, so they won't even discuss it. But that's why y'all come to this channel, because y'all know I have no problem talking about these uncomfortable things, because they shouldn't be uncomfortable. Deals with your future and your future family, your future kids, you need to discuss these so you know where you stand and who you need to date. For example, I've always said, if the woman is not into fitness, I am not going to date her or thinking about having a family with her, because I don't believe in obesity. If I want my son or daughter to be healthy and be in shape, her parents, her mom and dad need to reflect that, because the first people they're going to learn from are their mom and dad. So that's what I mean. Men and women, do not be short-sighted in your dating. It will come back to bite you in the end. So y'all, I appreciate it if you stick all the way through the end of the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think. But I will see y'all in the next video.